Hey guys, I have a pretty sad update for everybody. My dog Flex suddenly passed away today at around 2:30 p.m. I have my ideas of, the cause of this. I think it was related to the tick fever in Thailand that he had 5 weeks ago. But I'm completely off guard by this. My entire world is shattered. I lost my best friend. Raindrop lost her best friend. And we're going to be working on a lot of content for the next month or so that's really going to be dedicated to Flex. So you'll be seeing a lot of Flex on my Instagram and my Facebook and maybe my YouTube. And for me, this is just going to be part of my mourning process of missing him. And I just am so in shock that he's gone. I mean, we went for a walk this morning. He was tired. He didn't want to walk. I carried him, but he went outside. He peed like a good boy, and he walked home. He made it home on his own today. And I knew he's been acting different for the past couple days. So we had an appointment at 4 o'clock today, but he didn't make it. Anyway, thank you for those who've been following our journey for a while now on Instagram. But for now, it's going to be me and Raindrop, and we're going to keep Flex alive in our spirits. And I just, my heart goes out to Flex. My heart goes out to any pet parent, past, present, future, that's lost a pet. And this is the first dog that I've lost. I've lost my family dog when I was younger, but losing your own dog is, man, it's much different. And it hurts. It feels like there's just a hole being ripped out of your heart. And I'm still in denial about it. I still keep expecting him to come home, and every time the door opens and I hear the noise, I'm thinking it's him, but it's not. Anyway, I know this is different than my usual, tone that I do on these videos, but I wanted to let everyone know what's going on and why you're going to be seeing a lot of content about Flex for the next at least a month. Anyway, guys, thank you for everyone for all the thoughts and the prayers, and I'm reading all the comments. I don't have the energy to respond to them right now, but I'm reading them and I see them, and a lot of the stuff you guys have sent me is very touching, extremely touching. And I know Flex made an impact on a lot of people's lives. He was a very friendly dog to humans, so a lot of you have had a chance to hold him and walk him and interact with him. So it brings me happiness and joy that he's made an impact on a lot of people's lives in a good way. But to me, the biggest thing is how sudden it was, how unexpected it was, and that's what I think I'm gonna have a hard time making the most sense of, because just last night he was my little spoon like he always is. And it just goes to show you guys that you never know when it's your time. You never know when it's a loved one's time. One of the things that a lot of people didn't know about my dogs is that they're actually service dogs, which here in America, that means that they're trained to assist with a disability. And I've been pretty private about that because I didn't really want to draw attention to it. I kind of wanted to keep that part private. So if you look at a lot of the photos where they have their service dog vests on, I've strategically blurred out the name, the word service dogs, or I've covered it with graphics. But I kind of realized I was doing a disservice by doing that, because my service dogs were for more of a mental thing that I have. And I think that it's probably good if I use my platform to talk about, that kind of stuff. So just so you guys know a little bit about why my dogs are service dogs. I was diagnosed when I was 25 with advanced hypertension, which means high blood pressure. And when you have high blood pressure, that can oftentimes trigger anxiety, very high levels of anxiety. And it's the type of anxiety that's so out of your control because it's coming from your internal, from inside your body. Basically, your body's working against you. And so when you have hypertension and you can get anxiety attacks, you start to enter this dark space where you something that might scare you, like death, will trigger heart racing, rapid breathing. And then when you start to get those symptoms, they morph into an even stronger version and stronger version. It becomes a feedback loop, that the more symptoms you notice, the more nervous you get. The more nervous you get, the more the symptoms show up. And sometimes they get so bad to the point where you feel like you're dying or you need to be hospitalized. I've never gotten to the point of being hospitalized because by the time I've been making my way to the hospital, knowing that safety is coming, my anxiety attacks would usually disappear by that time. But my dogs never like seeing me when I'm in an agitated, upset state. They've been trained to jump into my arms and stay there until I seem to feel a lot better, and it works. For me, it's been the one thing that has worked every time. And so that's why my dogs have been service dogs for me, and a lot of times they prevent anxiety attacks. But when they do happen, they end much faster with my dogs in my arms. So that's just the nature of the service they provide. A lot of people have asked me that, and I've just kind of always tried to dodge the question. So that's why they're service dogs, and that has enabled them to come with me around the world on the flights I take. They travel free, hotels, restaurants, bars. And so my relationship with my dogs, because of that, is different than many other owner-dog relationships. For most people, they have a dog and they leave the dog at home and they go to work for 10 hours. They come home, they walk the dog, they watch TV with the dog, they eat dinner with the dog. I'm with my dogs almost 24 hours a day. The only time I'm not with my dogs is if I go for a run outside, because my dogs are too small to keep up with me, especially Flex. He wasn't much of a runner. But yeah, there's really nothing I can do, nowhere I can go that they wouldn't be there with me right now. And that's the part that's gonna, I think, make it the hardest, because you guys have seen that, I've gotten massages. My dogs were on the table with me. I know it's weird to a lot of people, but they were happy. They wanted a soft mattress too, right? When I go to restaurants, even fancy restaurants, steakhouses, Nobu, my dogs came. Hotels that aren't pet friendly, my dogs came. Every flight I came on, my dogs came. So there's really not much for me to do where my dogs wouldn't have been involved. And that's making this separation much harder, I think, because we were extremely bonded. Service dogs that assist with medical or biological conditions are very in tune with their owners' bodies. Some of you guys might not know this, but you can have a service dog for diabetes because they can actually sense when someone's blood sugar levels are off. You can have service dog for autism. And a lot of times, children with autism will have a dog, and it will help unlock some of their personality traits that they could otherwise not show. You could have service dog for PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. And that could happen for people that have come back from war, for example. But, he wasn't a perfect dog. He definitely exhibited some defensive behavior. When I'd walk him on the street, he would growl at other dogs sometimes to protect me and Raindrop, I guess. He definitely did not like fluffy dogs, I'll tell you that much. But the good thing is he loved people. He was very good with people. And so for me with the service dog, there really aren't a lot of service dogs in the US, you know. It's very rare to go to a restaurant and even see one service dog. And here I am bringing two with me. And so because we'd only interact with people at bars and restaurants or whatever, my dogs were perfect plug and play. You know, they've never had any incidences. They've never caused any disturbances. I mean, they're small enough to fit in backpacks. So that also has helped with the optics of having the service dogs. But I am absolutely heartbroken. I'm not looking forward to the next couple of weeks because I know that grieving and mourning is going to take a lot of steps, and there's a process to this. And I am still very, very deep in the denial stage right now. Very deep. You know, I just saw my boy 7 hours ago today. Was just giving him kisses, saying he was a good boy. Had no idea that his death was a potential outcome. I had no idea. So to all of you pet owners out there, please pay attention to your dog's behavior, warning signs. I'm not going to say that you should jump to the vet every minute your dog has a cough or sickness, because not only can that get extremely expensive, but that could be a little, maybe too paranoid. But, you know, just pay attention to their signs. Remind them every day what a good boy and good girl they are. And check them for ticks. If you bring your dog out to the woods, check them for ticks. Pay attention to their urine, pay attention to their feces, pay attention to their diet. Don't let them eat stuff off the ground, because sometimes there could be rat poison on the ground, and I've heard that can sometimes happen. Anyway, I have a few ideas of how I want to commemorate Flex, and you know, I'm going to process that and work on that. I think, I don't know, I have a lot of thinking to do. I have to reflect on these emotions a lot, and just process what I'm going through right now, because I didn't think I'd have to deal with this for another 8 years. I thought that he was a small dog with a decent owner who took care of him, that he'd live to, you know, 15. And I always said to him, Flex, you need to survive until I have human kids, because he's so good with babies. He was so good with babies. I always wanted him to meet my human baby when I have one. And it just really goes to show you that you could have all these plans, and life doesn't care. Life doesn't care about your plans, your timeline. None of that matters. And the crazy part about all this is the death of Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant and the 7 other people that died on the plane. That actually has helped put this into perspective for me today, which is a weird, you know, it's just a strange thought that I realized I was having. You know, Kobe and Gianna and the 7 other victims were having a regular day. You know, all of them, I guess, were relatively healthy. And, you know, their loved ones had no idea that what was about to happen. No one knew. And I really just, understanding that it could happen to somebody as loved, respected, rich, could have the money to get whatever, you know, they want in terms of health and protection. And that his wife Vanessa now has to deal with the unexpected loss and pick up the pieces. It puts it in perspective for me that this is something that we're all going to deal with in our lives probably. And we that are here on earth have to power through for the, you know, those that depend on us. And right now I got Raindrop, so you're going to be seeing a lot of us together, obviously. But yeah, the longer that we're alive, the more death that we're going to experience, you know, each of us. And that's both a good and bad thing. It's bad because it sucks to deal with the death of people you love and, you know, animals you love, pets you love. But if you're dealing with it, that means that you're still here. and you can still make an impact on the world, and you can still be a positive influence. So I know that I'm not going to wait long to get another dog. And I know some people deal with the mourning process differently. You know, they want to wait, maybe a long time. Everyone is allowed to deal with loss differently. But for me, I know that Flex's life was so good, and I know he was so happy that he would want me to give that life to another dog in need as soon as possible. So I am going to be looking for a Shih Tzu puppy, hopefully from a rescue. That's the plan, in honor of Flex. And also because I know dogs need canine companions. They live longer because dogs have derived from wolves, and dogs that don't have canine companions have been shown to emotionally suffer. You know, they need another dog. They need another they need the same species to communicate with and vibe off of. So I need to do that pretty quickly for Raindrop. I don't want people to think that I'm trying to replace Flex. I'm not. He can't be replaced. And the next dog is not a band-aid for Flex. It's not to cover this pain. This pain is going to be there forever. But it's for Raindrop to have a buddy and pal, because I can't explain to Raindrop that, you know, Flex is gone and not coming back. I let her interact with Flex's body today at the vet, but you know, I didn't see a visible reaction from her. You know, she seemed to smell his body, acknowledge his body, but they weren't the kind of dogs that played a lot together, so she didn't try to wake him up or anything. She just smelled, and then she walked away. But I'm not going to wait too long to get a new dog, because I know how good of a life my dog will have, and Flex has had. You know, Flex has been to 10 countries. He's been to about 25 US states. He's been to Miami, New Orleans, Seattle, Los Angeles, San Diego, Tijuana, Ensenada, Cabo, Cancun, Toronto. He's been to Belize, he's been to the Caribbean, he's been to Jamaica, Thailand, Vietnam. He's been through the Japanese airport. He's had sushi in Japan. He's had pho in Vietnam. He's had pad thai in Thailand. He's had burritos and tacos in Mexico. He's had better food than a lot of people in this world will have. He's marked his territory everywhere. I'm very proud of him for that. And in a way, when I visit all these cities that we've been to, especially the ones that we've been to more than once, you know, I'll know Flex was there, and you know, that we walked those same streets together, and that he probably peed there, and that'll give me some peace of mind. The reason why I wanted to record this, by the way, for everybody, is because I think mental health is a very important subject for people. And there are a lot of things that we deal with as humans that we typically deal with in private. You know, I think the loss of a pet is often done in private. So yeah, I could wait and I could do this video in a month from now. I don't know my emotional state will be at that point, but I wanted to just do this for you guys raw, off the top, and no script, because at the end of the day, most of us are going to lose a pet in our lifetime, and we're all going to mourn and grieve in our own way. And I think for me, this is definitely helping by putting myself out there. And yeah. Anyway, guys, I am sorry to bring the bad news. It's changed my life completely, and I don't even know what kind of shape or form that's going to take. But anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for listening. I love Flex. I'll miss him forever, and I'll think of him forever. And of course, I still got Raindrop. So will we take care of each other, baby girl? What do you think? Huh? Good girl. All right, guys. I will, hopefully my next video will be a different mood. But I got to process these emotions, and, you know, for me, hopefully this is part of the grieving process. Thanks, guys.